Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel and a modality where we apply the principles of philosophy, spirituality, and mysticism to rapid lifestyle transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a big video today because I wanted to go into one of the basic concepts of manifesting and the concept which we're going to continue to return to. Basically, it's a concept that I want to practice all of us, myself and you, in and experience the fruits of this, because this is an incredible practice, and it's actually the way of unfoldment of everything that you desire through the process of manifestation. You see, the effort that has to be taken on the outer or even on the inner to get a manifestation to you is in proportion to which you feel faith or you feel naturalness in the end that you seek. What do I mean by that? I mean that the more natural it feels, ladies and gentlemen, that you attain something, when you think, and you'll not be able to gauge that by your emotional and visceral state when you think of the end that you seek. The comfort that you have with that end will determine the space and the time that it takes in the physical, in the 3D, or on this film roll to get to your desire. So, one of the major ways to practice this, and it's a modality that I have been using over the past months, and I'm using it now to manifest something completely through the spiritual to the physical, and we will be sharing that when it's completely manifested. But it's a technique, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know if you could call it a technique, but it's an incredible practice, and you just will feel the exhilaration of it when you actually get your hands in the clay and do it. And what is that? That is, ladies and gentlemen, not necessarily consciously choosing a scene. This is one of the techniques that Neville and other spiritual teachers, Neville Goddard and other spiritual teachers, give to attain your wish fulfilled. And that is to take an imaginal scene, to whittle your imagination down to a scene, and then to imagine that scene to yourself over and over again until it feels natural, and then release it. And that is a great way to manifest. An even better one and a more exhilarating one that I have found is to do the following. Throughout your day, when you're doing other work or when you're doing something that allows you to have a bit of your mental resources free, you simply imagine yourself into that state of what you wish to fulfill, or rather, you completely fill yourself and surround yourself in that state, and then you just allow the circumstances to come to you of what a scene would be like in that state, or what you would be unfolding in that state right now. Let's say, for example, you wanted to live somewhere or go somewhere where there was a beach. Well, you can actually imagine yourself walking down that beach, swimming in the water, smelling the water, maybe having a picnic there, eating there. You'll have to allow it to unfold in your unique circumstances and in the unique way for you. But you do this, and you start doing this anytime you have a free second. You just go back to your main desire and you start imagining yourself in that scene. You imagine yourself walking through or swimming through that scene, for example. And you keep doing this, and you'll find that as you continue to do this, you'll find that you start living more on the new film roll than you are dwelling on the current film roll. And then you'll start, when you have to come back to the current reality of the current film roll, it will feel like a shock to you. But you'll remain in the feelings and in the state and surroundings of that new film roll. And so when you have to do your work, or you have to follow the script of the current film roll, you'll be somewhat psychically or in your feelings on that other film roll. So I hope I'm explaining myself here. So throughout your day, no matter what you're doing, when you have some time free to dedicate your attention to it, simply feel yourself right into that state. And don't try to choose a scene. Simply allow a scene to come to you, and it will. And in this methodology, because in the methodology of choosing the scene, sometimes you don't feel in alignment with that scene. And what people are trying to do is you're trying to replay that scene so that it will feel natural. But when you get into the state of what you wish to fulfill, and then you ask yourself, okay, what would I be doing right now? And not try to maintain it to one state, but change it up. So at one time, for example, if you're at noon, okay, what would I be doing here at noon? Perhaps I'd be walking down this pathway. Okay, if it was 3 o'clock, what would I be doing now? Perhaps I'd be sitting at my desk writing. It all depends on the state that you want to bring about. But what you do is you imagine that, and then there's no question of do you accept it, because it's going on right now. It's going on before your eyes. You're imagining. You don't even have to close your eyes for this. You can do this while you're doing other work. And so you're actually inhabiting that film role now. And the feeling that you get, ladies and gentlemen, it's unlike any other feeling. It's a rush. And it's a feeling of simply being carried in your desire. And then you're no longer thinking about your desire as something outside of you, because you already have it. You already are it, and you feel it and know it in that moment. And what you'll realize is that you're able to remain in that state for hours, and the time passes very quickly, and it's no longer something that you're trying to do in your mind. It's something that's simply being flowed through momentum within you. I'd recommend you all do this. I'd recommend you all try this. So what you have, and it doesn't take much preliminary preparation. All you have to do is ask yourself, what is the state of the wish fulfilled that I wish to be in? And then ask yourself, okay, right now, if it were true that I were in that state and my wish were fulfilled, what would be unfolding before me right now? What would I be doing right now? And then you simply imagine yourself in as much vivid detail as possible. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't even have to switch the task that you're doing. You can do it while you're doing other daily tasks. And it's what I've noticed is that sort of bypasses the negative beliefs, and it bypasses the doubt, because you're not trying to feel natural in it. You're actually doing it right now. There's one caveat for this, though. You cannot use this seeking something. It's like all of the processes we teach on our channel. The process has to be done for an end in itself. So if your state is, for example, having a beautiful home, then you can imagine yourself in that home, but you do it right now for the enjoyment of being in that home. You cannot do it so that I can feel natural, so that I can manifest that home in the future. No, that vitiates the entire process. You have to simply utilize this process. Basically, the way I would describe it is you utilize it as a way to enjoy now what is already yours. And in fact, all of these processes on the channel that we're teaching, they do work, ladies and gentlemen, but you cannot use them with an ulterior motive. You cannot use them to try to get something to happen. Because then if you're trying to get something to happen, what does that mean in the context of the film roles that we've been studying? Well, you're on a film role now where you're trying to get something to happen. And what happens when it's almost there? Well, you revert to a film role where it's almost there and you never quite get there. The only way to truly get there, to truly cross the finish line, is to give it to yourself now. And that's another video that we went into. Anything that you want, you can give it to yourself now. You can mentally rehearse something right now and have it be as real and as vivid as if it were presented to you on the 3D. And this is also another methodology of experimenting with yourself, of proving to yourself, and of teaching yourself that the only reality is imaginal. And it's what was proven by the scientists and philosophers in the Zermatt Dialogues, which is a very amazing book that I'd recommend you all read, and I think you can download it online for free. It is called the Zermatt Dialogues, and it goes into how it can be philosophically and scientifically proved that the whole grand thing is imagination. So start stepping into that now, because you can never be happy in the future. The only way to be happy in the future is to be happy now, and you have to be satisfied now, and you can never get anything that you don't have now. Indeed, this is talked about in the Bible, in the book of Matthew, where Jesus said, "To him who hath, more shall be given. But to him that hath not, it shall be taken away, even that which he hath." So if you're not in the state of it and you manage to acquire some semblance of it on the 3D or in this film roll, but you haven't established yourself on the other film roll, then you could just lose that, and you probably will because you're not in the state. But if you get into the state of that, if you practice yourself in that daily and allow the scenes and the actions that you would take to unfold before you daily, soon that will become automatic within you, and soon you won't care whether or not you get it on the 3D because you're already living it and enjoying it vividly. But then you'll be in the state, and I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, it will come to you. So remember, I want you to start getting into state throughout the day, because there's no reason to live in a reality that's not exciting you. If you're bored doing something, or if you're in a reality that's not exciting you, you can exit that reality right now. You can get onto another film roll right now. Simply imagine yourself as surrounded by the circumstances that you want to be surrounded with, as Wayne Dyer said. And practice yourself right into that right now and live it. And then you will get that satisfaction. And you know, the ironic thing that happens is that once you do this for a while on a certain point or a certain state, you'll be so satisfied that then you'll return to the 3D reality and you'll actually enjoy it. You'll say, you know what? This reality is here, the other film rolls here, anytime that I wish for it. Therefore, I can just relax and enjoy the present circumstances right now, still having in the back of my mind that I am in the other state, but I can just enjoy this film roll for fun. And you know what? The workaday aspects of this film roll become fun. And then before you know it, you're on the other film roll. So try this technique. Comment on it. Tell us how it went for you. This is going into the actual hands in the clay aspects of how to implement this modality. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a lot of exciting videos coming up this weekend, going into more detail about how to rapidly transform your lifestyle, becoming free from a boss in 6 months to a year. We've got to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do it. We're going to teach you how to do it on this channel. Also, I am doing coaching calls, so please email me, and I will put the email in the description. I will take you hand in hand down the pathway of this methodology, so you can transform your life quicker than you thought possible. So please subscribe and like to our channel if you find this material of value. With much love and appreciation, this is Javier, and we'll see you soon.